So, not gonna lie, episode 3 kind of, you know, tugged at the heartstrings a little bit because we got to see what Crosshair's been up to, and it's not good, of course, but then we also get to see the rest of the Bad Batch continue to be dads for Omega, who is just vibing, honestly. And something I've noticed, she's not wearing her little hair pendant anymore, and I want to think it's just somehow connected to her abilities or something, and that's why she took it off, so, you know, she could relate to the Bad Batch a little more, since they all have their own little abilities and she's one of them, you know. So maybe that's why she took it off. But then again, it could just be a piece of jewelry that she just didn't want to wear anymore, because we see the Kaminoans wearing something similar. So it could just be she didn't want to wear it anymore and has nothing to do with her powers. But again, I don't know. I just want to think that it has something to do with, like, keeping her abilities, you know, in check or just locked away, and then she took it off, so she didn't have to deal with that anymore. Who knows? But before I continue to rant, what is up, my dudes, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? I am one creative ginger, and in this house we have salty takes and emotional rants over fictional media, all while wearing the most amazing makeup you have ever seen in your entire life, and that is a fact. So, does that sound like fun? Well, how about helping a bitch out by clicking that subscribe button, and if you find at least one of your brain cells enjoying at least a millisecond of this video, why not hit the like button too? So, this episode starts off with our boys crash landing on a moon and then having to deal with a moon creature stealing a part to their ship, so, you know, of course they can't go anywhere, so now they have to go track down this creature, so, you know, they can leave. Then we switch gears and we also see what Crosshair has been up to as well, because we haven't really seen what he's been doing the past last episode, really, because in the first episode he was in there for quite a bit. So we finally get to see what's been going on with him. So we figure out that Tarkin and the big noodle lady, who I finally found out her name, it's Nala Se, I think, so that's her name. So these two are checking to see if Crosshair's inhibitor chip is still, you know, working properly, which it is, unfortunately. And then we have Rampart join the party and suggest that what the Empire really needs is an army of both willing recruits and also the clones, so these two groups of people, essentially. I think clones can be classified as people, you know. So, you know, we have recruits and clones fighting alongside each other. That's really Rampart's goal, essentially. He thinks that's what the Empire should do, because again, the Empire just started, so they're not really sure what they're gonna do, because of course Tarkin hates the clones. He doesn't want them anymore for some reason, so that's kind of weird. I don't know if that's going to be explained. I don't know if that was ever explained, why he hates clones. But yeah, and then we also have Rampart actually refers to Crosshair as an enhanced clone and not a defective one. So I really liked that. They have not been referred to as defective this whole episode. Them calling them defective for those first 2 episodes got on my damn nerves. So I'm glad that hopefully that stopped. I think that stopped. But yeah, so that was a thing that I really liked. That changed. So good. So then we meet this elite squad of troopers that Rampart has recruited, and they are ordered to go with Crosshair to eliminate Saw Gerrera's camp of rebels on Onderon. So they get there and they take out all the soldiers, but then they find out that there's civilians alongside these soldiers that were just trying to get off-world, so they have no idea where Saw Gerrera is, because that's what they're trying to find, because Saw Gerrera's not with them. So, you know, of course they don't know, and so Crosshair's like, well, let's kill him. But before he can do that, he's actually stopped by one of the troopers who was previously just heckling the hell out of him and saying how clones suck and how he doesn't like them and doesn't like that Crosshair's leading the team because he's in charge, you know. But anyway, that guy tries to stop Crosshair and be like, hey, they're civilians, we should really be taking them to, you know, taking them prisoner and back to the Empires to see if, you know, they actually do know anything, that kind of thing. So there is that, but then he's like, yeah, just freaking ignore this clone, like, he's insane, let's just take them into custody. And then Crosshair's like, you know why they put me in charge? Because good soldiers follow orders, and then he just shoots the motherfucker right in the back, and then he's like, okay, is anyone else going to defy these orders, you know? And so all the other troopers are just like, well, guess we're killing civilians now. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. I don't know how much of that was the inhibitor chip, because again, since it's the Bad Batch, so I want to think that it's kind of fucking with him a little bit, that it's making him a little too crazy, a little too, you know, follow the mission to, you know, to a T, you know? So I don't know if, like, he meant to do that. I don't know if he meant to kill the civilians or anything, but I want to think that, yeah, the inhibitor chip, maybe Tarkin had something to do with this, but it made him a little bit too violent, I want to say. I don't know. It's just, I like to think that, you know, he's doing a little bit, the inhibitor chip's forcing him to do a little bit more than he would have originally done, but yeah, I don't know. It's a sad thing to think about. Definitely sets this up as it's going to be an issue where he takes anyone that says no as a threat that must be eliminated. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, so anyways, after they kill the civilians, they get back to Camino, and we see that Crosshair and his new team now reside in the old Bad Batch barracks, and so when you see them walk in, you can see the notches that Wrecker made on the wall, because that's really all that's left of their barracks, because they threw out all their old shit and stuff. So essentially it's just kind of like a new barrack, but you can still see the notches. And so when Crosshair goes by them, he sees them, and he's like, you know, this isn't my team, essentially, you know? But yeah, and then when he sits down, you actually see him that he's kind of, you know, sad, and then he kind of misses his buddies, because I don't know how the inhibitor chip works, but I think someone had to tell him that essentially his friends, like, all betrayed him to some degree or something. I don't know if he had to be convinced to a point and then the inhibitor chip just did the rest, but I think he had to be convinced that his friends all, like, betrayed, you know, the Empire and betrayed him specifically. I think it had to be, like, specifically they chose to betray him, they chose to leave him, just, I don't know, some degree. But then, you know, when they're leaving, he's, like, trying to kill them. So I think, yeah, he does think they're traitors, and, you know, that's his, you know, orders to kill his friends. And I think he's starting to get a little bit like, maybe I should talk to them and see if they really are traitors, you know? So I don't know. I'd like to think that he's kind of trying to think things through and think, you know, what's really going on. But yeah, it was sad to see him just, like, being lonely, because, like, none of the other, like, the rest of his team is, like, honestly probably scared of him, because he just shot and killed one of their own, you know, for disobeying orders, essentially. And so, you know, they're probably not gonna be, you know, being buddies with him like the Bad Batch was. So it's like, it's sad, because, you know, now he's alone. He really doesn't have anyone to talk to, and it's really sad. And then he just sits there alone, just missing his buddies, and it's sad. But yeah, and so then we switch over to the Kaminoans talking about how they're going to initiate Phase 2, which is to develop a superior clone, so Tarkin and the Empire don't get rid of clones entirely, because that's what this whole thing has been. It's been the Kaminoans and Rampart in this episode trying to convince Tarkin that, you know, their army is what the Empire really needs. And in the case of the Kaminoans, apparently clones are getting to be obsolete, especially since they talk about how Jango Fett's genetic material has been deteriorating this whole time, and so they won't be able to make clones for very much longer anymore, it seems like. So they say that they're going to initiate Phase 2, and they need a specific, you know, clone that's already been created to carry this out. So that'll be interesting to see. But anyways, so we're getting back to the Bad Batch, and we see that Hunter has been tracking this moon creature, and that, you know, that took their ship part in the first place. And then Omega's with him, and it's really cute to see because she mimics him when he's doing that little tracking thing. He picks up the sand, and she's just like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm tracking," and she's like, "Oh, cool. I'm gonna do that too." So I thought that was super cute that she's just kind of mimicking what he does, which is interesting. Because I thought that might have been like her like part of her ability or something, is her mimicking people, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think that was just her being a child and wanting to relate to someone she sees as a father figure, sort of, and so she just kind of mimics what he does, and that's what kids do, you know? So I think that's all that is. I don't think it has anything to do with her abilities, but who knows? That's a good thing to keep in mind, I guess. So yeah, but while they're tracking, Omega mentions Crosshair and asks Hunter, you know, if he's, you know, mad at him for giving into the inhibitor chip, essentially. But Hunter ends up saying no, and he's actually mad at himself for basically abandoning Crosshair on Kamino, where he knows he's basically just surrounded by clones and people who hate his existence, because we see in the first episode, no one likes the Bad Batch. They all think they're, you know, inferior. They're not as good. So obviously, you know, they kind of just abandoned him and didn't even try to, you know, help him in any way. And that's essentially why Hunter's mad at himself, because he's just kind of like, we don't leave our own behind. Because we see that's literally what they did for Omega, is they went back for her knowing that they were going to get in some shit, you know. But yeah, he's just kind of sad that he feels like he abandoned Crosshair, and now he's alone on Kamino without them, and he feels bad for that. And we even see Wrecker just straight up says that he misses Crosshair, and then everyone else just is like, yeah, we do, we miss him too. And it's sad because they're all missing each other, but like, you know, the whole inhibitor chip thing is making it a little hard, you know, to get Crosshair back. But yeah, it's just, it's cute. And then, yeah, then Omega is just like, yeah, we'll find a way to get him back and break him free of the programming. And it's just like, it's so cute. It's so cute. I just, oh, yeah. That shit really tugs at the heartstrings when you got a character that's under some sort of mind control. It's just, yeah, it hurts. But yeah, so anyways, Hunter and Omega find the moon creature, which just basically jumps on Hunter's face because it's like this little lizard thing, and rips off his little respirator and just escapes through a hole in the moon, and it still has the little piece of the ship that they need, and Omega's able to put the respirator back on Hunter's face, so, you know, he doesn't suffocate to death, but he's out. He's just knocked out. So Omega ends up just going into the hole after the creature, and she has a flashlight and a blaster with her, you know, just to see what's gonna happen. But she figures out that the flashlight is what the creature wants, because the creature feeds off of electrical energy, and that's why it stole the part in the first place. But she figures out it actually probably wants the flashlight more, so she throws it, it goes after the flashlight, she's able to get the part, and she's able to escape through the hole. And at this point, Hunter is fine now, he's back on his feet, and he's waiting for her, and she's like, yeah, I did it, I completed the mission. And he's like, nice. But don't do that again, because you might get eaten, you know. But yeah, that whole interaction really seems like he's getting the whole dad part, you know, she's just a kid, don't yell at her, you know, like she's a soldier. He was more like, hey, don't do that, because, you know, you're a kid, that kind of thing. So it was less like he was angry, he was it was just more like he was worried about her, because he was not aware of what she was doing while he was knocked out, you know. So that was cute to see that, you know, he's getting better at talking to kids, you know, so that was nice. But yeah, so then they get back to the ship, and they're able to put the part back in, and they don't get messed around with any more creatures anymore. But yeah, so this whole time Wrecker has been complaining about a headache, and I was worried because I thought it had something to do with the inhibitor chip, but I think it just turned out that he was just needing an excuse to stay on the ship while he set up a room for Omega, like her own little room, just all for her. And oh, it was so cute. And he even gives her the little doll bunny doll that he had, and he gives it to her, and it was so cute. But yeah, but now it's official. Now she is a part of the Bad Batch, and it's very cute. And, oh, I just love that. But yeah, she was so cute. She was just like, I have my own room now. Yay! Because this whole time she hasn't had one. And I'm pretty sure, you know, Crosshair still has his part of the ship as well, but none of them wanted to give that up, and Omega wasn't going to, you know, grab that at any time either, because she was just kind of sitting in the cargo bay amongst like the boxes and shit, and she's just sitting there totally fine. They're all just like, she needs a place to stay, you know. We can't just have her sitting in boxes the whole time, you know. So that was cute that Wrecker made her a whole little room for her, all her own. So that was really cute. And not giving up Crosshair's space either, because they all want him back, especially Omega. She's the one that's like, yep, we're gonna get him back. I know we will. So that was cute that they didn't give that up, because yeah, that would have been really sad. But yeah, so that's basically all that happened in this episode. Yay! I am very excited to see what's gonna happen, because I think we're going to get characters like Rex and Ahsoka and maybe Maul, who knows, like he likes to pop up every now and then. And I mean, we might get Kanan again, who knows, he might have just been like a one-off thing, but who knows. At least Rex and Ahsoka should show up for sure, because of the whole them being able to remove an inhibitor chip without killing a clone, you know, that whole thing. I think that'll come in handy, so I think they will at least show up at some point, because the Bad Batch obviously wants to save Crosshair from the Empire's control, obviously, and we can see also Crosshair might be having some second thoughts, and also we'll see Omega's power at some point. Like, she's got an ability of some sort, so it's like, what's hers? Because she's obviously a part of the Bad Batch, you know, but we just don't know yet. So we'll see that. We'll get to see what Omega's deal is, and yeah, and also just everyone else being dads, because we've already seen Hunter and Wrecker being dads in these episodes, so it'll be nice to see like Tech, Echo, and hopefully Crosshair at some point, what kind of dads they're going to be with Omega. So that'll be interesting to see, and hopefully we'll get that. But yeah, so that is all I have to say about episode 3 of The Bad Batch. If you guys have any predictions, thoughts, and or feelings about this show, share all that good shit in the comments down below. Yes, so thank you guys so much for watching and getting to the end of my video. If you would like to support me, I sell all kinds of art on these 4 sites right here if y'all are interested in buying. If you would like to follow me on other social media, I have an Instagram and a Twitter if you'd like to stay up to date on my shenanigans. So if you liked this video, why not hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and give that bell a ring if you would like to see more of my face every Wednesday when I post a new video. And don't forget to stay sparkly, my dudes!